I've been having these really weird dreams. In an instant, I'm fully immersed, and the other, I cease to exist. Something about them feels so honest, so safe here in this fantasy, this dream. Until my subconscious takes over.
The other night, I had this dream. I was out at a nightclub, drinking the finest red wine, enjoying the music, the night, the bar chatter. But I wasn't with anyone. I don't think, anyway. What I remember was being at the club and dancing to the music. My hips were swaying. My head was spinning. I was having a good time. But was I with someone? Every time I try to remember it, I can never see it. I can never see him. I'm dancing alone. I'm having a good time. But I'm alone. When I think back on that, I battle with myself about whether I was really having a good time. Was I happy? Or did I want to be with someone?
Hi everyone, it's Catchy, aka OBiGem. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Also, the notification bell to be notified of all future videos. And if you like what you see, please do hit the like button so I need to keep making content like this. So we're back with another episode of The Short Legacy. And we are in another date in progress for this episode. So, lo and behold, Marinella has finally gotten that date that she's been angling for with Jamie. However, it's not quite going the way that she had expected. And so, she invited Jamie out here to this club in the heart of San Myshuno. She got all decked out and dressed up for it. But as you can see, Jamie is not really dancing with her right now. She invited him out to the dance floor and she's like, I don't know, maybe Jamie's nervous or something, but he's dancing all the way over there and I'm dancing over here, so what gives? And she's like really kind of second guessing and like thinking what's going on? Is there like something wrong with me? And at the end of the day, is he just like not that into me? I got all dressed up for this, I had Briar help me out with an outfit again, and I'm dressed like nicer than I've ever dressed in my life. These heels are hurting my feet, and he's not dancing with me, so she's feeling kind of bad right now because she's all like, I like Jamie a lot, but every single time we hang out with each other, it just always seems as though I'm more into him than he is into me. And honestly, after the last date I had with Breeden, it got me thinking about what I wanted, and I was actually kind of feeling Breeden more during that last date than I've ever, felt him. Oh, she's not feeling great today. That doesn't help at all. She's got the nerves and her stomach bugging. It's bubbling and bugging all the way out. But at the end of the day, she's like, I don't know, this is kind of like the last straw for Jamie. I'm starting to feel Breeden, and I don't know, maybe I'm just not that into Jamie anymore. Maybe Jamie just was never that into me. So she's figuring it out, and we're gonna see how Miss Marinella works it out with Mr. Jamie. But I'm gonna let her use the toilet because this is, she's feeling the way that she's feeling. So Marinella comes back from the bathroom and she sees that Jamie is talking to this other girl over here, and she's like, what the heck, Jamie? I thought you and I were supposed to be out on a date together and you're over here talking up this other girl. And Jamie is just oblivious. He's like, oh, there you are, Marinella. I was looking for you. And Marinella's trying to not let it show that she's feeling some type of way that he was talking up this other girl while she was in the bathroom. And she's like, oh yeah, I just went to go freshen up a little bit. And she's all like, I was just thinking, I was out dancing on the dance floor and you weren't really dancing with me, Jamie. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm such a goof. I haven't been out on a date in a really long time. So honestly, I kind of just don't really know what I'm doing. I was a little bit, nervous and shy about being out on the dance floor. But if you want to, I could dance, with you after we get a drink together. I ordered us something. And Marinella's like, oh, you don't say, and she went and got herself some chips for me. She's feeling kind of like he's making excuses right now. She's like, okay, he's saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, but he didn't really seem like he didn't know what he was doing with that other girl he was chatting up. And she just kind of feels like, this is just not it. Meanwhile, Jamie's looking at her and is like, why does she seem so sad? He's like, I meant to tell you when you got in here, you look really nice today, Marinella. And she's like, well, Jamie, thanks for the compliment. And she's like, you look nice yourself, Jamie. And he's like, thanks. I just kind of, am I blowing this, Marinella? You could tell me if I am, if I'm blowing this. And she's like, Jamie, you're doing fine. It's just, if you don't mind, could you maybe just pay a little bit more attention to me? It just it's making me feel as though you're not really paying any attention to me tonight. And he's like, oh, that's awful. You think I'm not paying attention to you? I'm blowing this. She's like, you're not gonna blow it. Just, be in this moment with me. He's like, okay, well, I'll try and do that. And he's like, well, now that we're in this moment together, would you be interested in going out on the dance floor with me and dancing for real, for real? And Marinella's like, Jamie, I would love to. So they are finally dancing on the dance floor together. And they're trying their best to find a groove, but I think they both drank a little bit too much. And, they're both kind of feeling the feels. But the one thing Marinella can feel grateful about is the fact that, Jamie is actually making an effort and paying attention to her. She's like, I just wish I hadn't had that much to drink, because off she goes. Marinella, you're killing me here. So they finally are getting into a groove. She's starting to shake off a lot of the alcohol that she drank, and she's all like, I'm actually having a fun. And Jamie actually let loose a little bit, and he's all like, I know, my moves are probably kind of stiff. And she's all like, you think your moves are stiff? Get a load of some of these. And they're just really kind of having a good time together. It's kind of sweet and cute. But, Jamie is a little erratic, because he has moments where he's really trying to get into it and be in the moment with Marinella, and then he has moments where he's thinking about his daughter. His daughter is actually at a sleepover party tonight, and so he's been trying not to think about that, because he's like, look, Jamie, your daughter is older now. She can take care of herself a little bit more on her own now. It's time for you to kind of reacclimate into the dating world and get back out there. Your wife died a while ago. Your baby girl is going to be, an adult soon. It's time for you to kind of have a life of your own that's not just wrapped around being a father. But it's like old habits die hard for him, so it's a little bit difficult. He keeps on going back and forth thinking, is she okay? Does she need me? Should I be out here doing this right now? And it's been, a little bit obvious, because, when he's having these moments, Marinella's noticing. She's like, Jamie, are you okay? What's going on? Is there something I can help you with? You just seem off. And Jamie's like, oh no, Marinella, I'm good. Don't worry about me. Let's just keep dancing. And so she's been kind of just leaning into that. She's like, when Jamie's really in it, it's fun, it's nice, it's cool. But when he's not and he has those moments, it's, it's hard. But she's like, I'm going to keep on powering through and dancing and having a good time because I really like Jamie. So Marinella and Jamie have finally gotten to a groove together and started to feel the feels and have that intimate moment. And Jamie asks her, he's like, Marinella, are you having a good time? She's like, of course I am, Jamie. This is really nice. And he's like, good, because I was thinking it's getting kind of late. I should, probably get you home, or if it isn't too late for you, would you maybe be interested in coming back to my place? And Marinella's like, wow, Jamie, I thought you had a whole thing about not wanting to invite people over too soon. And Jamie says to her, Marinella, for me personally, I don't think it's too soon anymore. And besides, my daughter is actually not home tonight, so if you would want to. And Marinella cuts him off and says, Jamie, I want to. And so he's like, okay then, let's go. And so they're gonna go ahead and finish up their dance, and they're gonna head back over to Jamie's place. So Jamie and Marinella got back to his apartment, and they didn't even get inside. They're still in the lobby, and they've just been all over each other, just making out. And Marinella's like, Jamie, I just like you so much. And he's like, I like you. Oh God, he is still a little drunk. He's like, I like you a whole lot too, Marinella. Let's go inside. So they are inside Jamie's apartment, and he was gonna give her the grand tour, but honestly, they're still kind of all over each other. And she's like, Jamie, we should really kind of just slow down and maybe talk a little. He's like, yeah, we probably should. Probably will help us sober up a little bit. She's like, yeah, we could do that. And she's kind of feeling a little bit embarrassed because she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I finally got, Jamie to invite me over, and I'm a little bit drunk, and this is not what I was expecting for myself. And he's all like, but I'm just glad that we finally were able to connect this way. I know that it just felt like we were just like a bunch of misconnections for a minute. You know what, though? Let's go sit and talk. You're right, we should slow things down a little bit. But I guess Marinella is feeling her loins a little bit because Jamie said, like, let's bump the brakes and talk. And she's all like, we could do that. Or, Jamie, I've been thinking a lot about you and me and next steps and all that. And maybe we are ready to kind of just go full speed ahead. And Jamie is looking at her and thinking, Marinella, what do you mean full speed ahead? And she's like, well, like woohoo? And Jamie's like, wow, Marinella, that's a huge step. Are you sure? And she's like, well, I mean, why not? And so she asks him if, he will want to. Okay. And he said yes, but we're going to go ahead and reset that because this apartment is not working with me today. And so they are in Jamie's bedroom, and they are like getting hot and heavy, and they're about to do the do, and Marinella is ready for it, and Jamie is getting into it too. Like, this is the most like in sync they've been since they've been trying to get something started. And Marinella, she's ready. She's into it. She wants to. But what she doesn't realize is that, like, this whole time that they're making out like that, like, Jamie's phone is just buzzing in his pocket, like, just, like, incessantly. And he's trying to ignore it, but at the same time, he's like, why is my phone ringing like this early in the morning? That's not usual. So he's kind of, like, easing out of it a little bit, and he's like, he hit a point where he's all like, okay, I gotta check my phone. So he kind of like moves Marinella off of him, and Marinella's like, what the heck, Jamie? Like, why are you stopping? And so Jamie's like, just give me a minute, I just need to check something, if that's okay. So Jamie decides to check his messages while Marinella decides to freshen up in the bathroom, and as soon as he sees the message, he is completely floored. He's a little bit in panic mode. He's like, what the heck? Like, what am I reading right now? Let's just say this is not good. So Marinella comes out of the bathroom, and she's kind of looking for Jamie, and she finds him in the other bathroom. So she's like, hey, Jamie, and she's like already like flirting and like in a flirty mood because of, where they were before. And she's all like, hey, Jamie, are you ready for part 2 of where we were at? Like, I'm really looking forward to kind of picking up where we left off a minute ago. Unfortunately, when she found him, though, what the fuck is he on his face? Ignore that right now. He somehow has mermaid scales on his face. Ignore that. Anyway, Jamie's looking at her and thinking, Marinella, like, what the heck? What do you mean pick up where we left off? And Marinella's looking at him like, Jamie, why are you so angry? What's going on? And she's all, and he tells her, Marinella, do you know what was going on when we were making out? My daughter was trying to call me. Apparently, she wasn't at a sleepover. Her and her friend like snuck out. They went to a party. She's drunk. She's stranded out at this party, and while she was trying to call me to get me to pick her up, I was out over here making out with you, and it's a whole mess. And Marinel's like, Jamie, I mean, is there anything I could do to help? I can, make sure that you go and find her where she's at and bring her home. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, if I had known. And he's like, that's just it, Marinella. You don't understand what it's like being a single dad. My life is my daughter. That's why it's so hard for me to date like this, because when moments like this happen, if I'm off doing something completely self-absorbed and for myself, then if my daughter needs me, then I'm not able to be there for 100% like she needs me to be. And Marinelle says to him, I know, Jamie, but, you have to have a life too, and your daughter will understand if you're out there, trying to do that, to have a life. And Jamie's like, no, Marinella, you don't understand. I'm all that my daughter has. I have to be there for her until she definitely doesn't need me anymore. And as it stands right now, she still needs me. And it just feels like this is a mistake. It just feels like this was a mistake. And so Marinella, at this point, is just frustrated and livid. And she's like, you know what, Jamie? Since the very beginning, I have really liked you. And I've tried over and over to make this work. But at the end of the day, if you want to blame me for you not being able to be there for your daughter or whatever you have going on with yourself, then maybe this just isn't worth it. Maybe this is just not meant to be. And Jamie's like, Marinella, please just understand. And Marinella's like, no, Jamie, I'm done. I'm done trying to understand. You're over here constantly trying to make me feel like I'm, ruining your life when all I've ever done is like you. So, you know what, Jamie, if your daughter is your number one priority and the only person you have time for, I should just go. And Jamie at this point is conflicted because he really does like Marinella, but at the same time he's like, Marinella, like, please understand, I really do like you. I want you to stay. Can you maybe consider just, waiting until I figure this out? And Marinella's like, no, Jamie, I've got to go. So Marinella's about to head on out back to her place. But quite honestly, she's feeling very dejected. And the last thing she kind of wants to do is just head back home, sad, lonely, and feeling rejected after this date to her apartment. So she's like, you know what? I don't know if I want to go home right now. I need some other place to go. So Marinella's figuring that out, but all she knows right now is that she just cannot be here. She's not going to stick around for whatever Jamie has in store. She's done. She's getting off of that roller coaster, that merry-go-round. She's just not here for it anymore. If Jamie can't figure out what he wants to go on for his personal life outside of his daughter, then she just doesn't have the time to wait for him to figure that out. So as some of you might have guessed, Marinella did not go home. She wanted to go see a certain Brayden. She's like, Brayden, it's so good to see you. And Brayden's kind of thinking like, Marinella, what are you doing here? It's either super late or super early. And Marinella's like, well, Brayden, kind of had a bad night and I didn't want to go home. And she's like, is it okay that I'm over here? And Brayden's like, of course, Marinella, I always want to see you. I was just worried about you, I just want to make sure you're okay because it's kind of late. And Marinella's like, Brayden, I just wanted to see you. So Marinella starts kissing Brayden. She's like, I just want to see you, I just want to be with you. And Brayden's like, whoa. And Marinella, just gotta slow your roll a little bit. So Brayden's like, Marinella, just slow your roll. It smells like you've got quite a bit of alcohol on your breath there. Have you been drinking? She starts laughing. She's like, Brayden, you're so silly. And I might have a drink or two. I'm fine. And he's like, okay, but maybe we should just chill. Let you sober up a little bit. And she's like, are you kicking me out or something? You want me to go home? And Brayden's like, no, I was just thinking maybe you could sleep it off. You could stay here or you could sleep in my bed, it's fine. And so Marinella hears sleep in his bed and she's like, oh, well, in that case, maybe we should woohoo. And Brayden's like, Marinella, are you serious? And Marinella says, I am very serious. So we are going to end things right here. I know it seems very abrupt, but this is like the perfect place to end it because this is a short legacy, and as I say every episode, we're trying to keep these episodes short. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that now that she's over at Brayden's that she's going to sleep with him? Do you think that's even a good idea? She was just with Brayden, or she was just with Jamie not that long ago. And if she is game to woohoo with Brayden, do you think Brayden should take her up on that? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay dazzled. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
You say that you're leaving him, but I just don't believe you. Used to think you solid, but I'm noticing you see through. You a prima donna and a fucking drama queen too. For some reason I still make excuses.